The Great Canadian Talk Show.
Here's only a couple of watts, but I brought the truth to everyone within 3 blocks of the west side of campus.
No way! Yes way!
And now, let's get right down to business with Marty Gold.
Let me explain it this way. There's been some incidents downtown. We talked about it in the last podcast, actually. Kenny and I did. About the 4 assaults, 4 males assaulted in broad daylight. I believe it was on March the 1st. One guy being knocked out and lost a tooth. That's the level of mayhem going on downtown in the middle of the day in this city right now. Free press story. Remarkable in what this says. Private university beefs up security at Main Street facility after group beaten. Now, it says group, and I'm going to go through the story again right now because I don't know that I saw that the 4 students were all together in one place. I guess they were based on that headline, but again, the reporters don't write the headlines. Safety, a growing concern as violence spreads in area. Now, when you talk about, traditionally, you talk about violence downtown, we've talked about north of Portage, Ellis Avenue, you remember in the old days, and sometimes South Broadway, right? In the actual neighborhood itself. Providence University College and Theological Seminary is based in Otterburn, about 45-minute drive outside of Winnipeg, but they have a campus set up now inside CDI College. This is where it touches on the Great Canadian Talk Show. I think our first live remote was from CDI College, and we did a number of them. We'd have guests come to visit us at the college, including Councillor John Orlico. I wonder if Mayor Sam Cates also came to CDI College, but I know John Orlico for certain. And this was something that was good for Kick FM at the time because they got to experiment with the magic suitcase that had the necessary equipment to transmit the signal back to the station. It gave the producers experience in the studio in terms of coordinating the breaks and hitting the commercials on time and whatever. And it also was great exposure for CDI College, which at the time was run by a longtime a friend of mine, Tal East, the daughter of the guy who taught me a lot of the stuff that you hear me try to explain and analyze here on this program, Yoram Mizrahi. So Yoram's daughter ran CDI College. I got to know a number of members of the staff, a number of the students. This goes back again 15 years. Now, Providence College has moved into CDI College. And as this story describes, one of the students from the college was knocked unconscious and now requires dental work after he was repeatedly punched by a stranger near the campus. 4 men aged 19 to 23 were randomly attacked near Fort and Graham, a block west of the campus. It's very disturbing, says the university's president, Kent Anderson. 22-year-old man was arrested nearby, facing 3 counts of assault, 1 count of assault caused bodily harm. And we made this point previously, and we make it again. Released on a promise to appear, which police said is mandated by the criminal code. Would somebody, please, one of you paid employees of a newsroom, would one of you please call Kevin Lamreau or Dan Vandal or Terry Duguid or some other Liberal member of Parliament from Manitoba and ask them how the criminal code is protecting the public when someone who walks up to 4 students, and we're going to describe them in a minute, harasses them, beats them, knocks one of them out and knocks out a tooth. Guess what? According to a source of the Free Press, the 4 victims now receiving counseling, feeling unsafe because of the suspect's release. They're all international students. They're all from India. Now, they've had to beef up security, CDI and Providence College. The university is, the Christian University is leasing space for its Buller, or Bueller maybe, but it's Buller, so I guess Buller. School of Business. They now have 2 security guards on duty instead of 1 from late morning to mid-evening. They've dialed back the 9 p.m. classes. They're arranging group walks to bus stops. This is at the corner. This is, hey, Portage and Main, revitalize Portage and Main. This is a block away. Walk out of Earl's, right? or is it Good Life Fitness there? Walk out of 300 Main Street, turn right, bang, you can get your head kicked in. Staff are planning to speak with police, the city, and other universities and colleges in a bid to improve safety. Other students have been chased or subjected to racial comments. It's all come to a head with this major incident, said the president of the Christian college, but it's part of a pattern we've been seeing in recent weeks. Students who spoke to the Free Press, here's the quotes. "I don't think the area is usually so safe." This is another student from India who said the students that were attacked were from India, and he was also told the suspect had brass knuckles. So these are beatings 1930s or 40s style. Now it quotes a girl who attends class in the building. I'm guessing that it's from Providence College and not from CDI itself. It just seems that way. I suppose it could be a CDI student. She was confronted by a woman armed with a box cutter in a coffee shop in the same area last week. You can be guaranteed that coffee shop would be the infamous Tim Hortons location at the corner of Fort and Graham. She complied with a demand to buy a bagel for the woman, but didn't report the incident to police. Well, first of all, I'm sorry you were confronted. Second of all, thanks for nothing, not reporting it. Confronted with a box cutter, buy me a bagel. A block from Portage and Main, and a block from where else? That's right, the police station. Remember how we talked last week about how Red River College, who gets mentioned later in this story, the cop shop moved from 151 Princess. Red River College is considered safer, the downtown campus, than other parts of downtown. Now, naturally, because there's security, but you get the point. Lo and behold, this is a block from the cop shop. Maybe it's 2 blocks? No, Gary and Portage. A block from the cop shop, a block basically from Portage and Main. This woman worries about her safety when she's walking to or from bus stops or restaurants. I feel safe in the building, but around here, hell no. Brian Bowman's legacy, everyone. Now, this wanders through a couple of other instances. Connor Lloyd, somebody who's been known to listen to this program from time to time in the past, a spokesman for Red River College, or RSC Polytech in the modern incarnation, regularly holds security assessments on its campuses. Winnipeg police spokesman, somebody I haven't heard of before, Constable Claude Chancey. Constable Claude Chancey says substance use is a common contributing factor in many incidents. Let me tell you what else is a common contributing factor. The perpetrators are criminals. We're not talking about somebody who stupidly, wildly gets drunk, loses control of themselves, out of character. You never hear that. When do you ever hear about an incident where somebody was threatened, slashed, stabbed, macheted, and the individual involved has no prior contact with the police? You never hear that. So these people are already criminals in many, many cases. Now, this police officer also said that an increase in foot traffic downtown since the public health orders were lifted a year ago may be another contributing factor. Wait a second. Let me get this straight. Downtown was seen as being violent, unsafe in the daytime because the evaporation of office workers, of downtown retail traffic, right, during COVID. So, the scumballs are still out there, and it's because there aren't more people that we're hearing about the incidents, right? Now we have a police officer saying, well, the reason that there's more incidents is because there's more people downtown. I thought there was more incidents in the last couple of years because there weren't people downtown. So we're other people to watch and see, I'm not going to try to mug this person because there's 8 people on the other corner watching. Well, apparently not. Now there's 20 people watching. They'll mug the one person and they'll go over and start picking off the students from India and the other group. Mayor Gillingham. Ensuring people feel safe, he says, is key to our downtown renewal efforts. The mayor said work will soon begin on a comprehensive community safety plan. Oh, again, real consolation of the guy who came from India to lose a tooth and get knocked out on the cold, wet pavement of Winnipeg on March the 1st. This deterioration happened on the watch of the previous council and the previous mayor. Let there be no mistake about it. And no, I don't have sympathy for the substance abusers who threaten people with box cutters, like they were an airplane hijacker, to get a bagel, and I have less sympathy, honestly, for people who don't report it to the authorities the instant they have an opportunity to do so that the perpetrators can be apprehended, and if they need rehab or whatever other kinds of wraparound services, they can get it, because one more person diverted from the downtown streets, from Graham Avenue on Winnipeg, is one less person menacing the population, both citizens and our international student visitors. Not only did we have the personal connection to CDI College, let's look at where this is happening. Go up a block from Graham to St. Mary, right? So you go to St. Mary, which is High and Lonesome Club, then up to York, the old Grapes on Main. Not even a full block later, VJ's. So here's VJ's drive-in. I personally know them. Reopen the burger stand. Make various improvements or planning other improvements, including having a debit machine now instead of being all cash, trying to attract more traffic, more foot traffic, more customers, despite, by the way, how the city treated them during the road repairs on 4th Street when the restaurant got zero notice that there'd be no direct access to their restaurant because you couldn't turn right on St. Mary. It was crazy to try to get to VJ's a couple of summers ago. Nobody gave a damn at City Hall. They've stayed in the game. They're maintaining jobs. A Winnipeg icon, adding a debit machine. This is like 2 blocks away. Hey, we're Portage and Main tourists, right? Oh, let's go to that iconic burger joint for the special and legendary fries. Take your life in your hands, walking up Main Street, past Graham, up towards St. Mary, York, and then to get to VJ's before Broadway. So this kind of stuff affects people that, there's still, I'm sure, instructors, people associated with CDI College that we know. Affects other businesses that we know in the area. Potentially affects VJ's. So if I sound a little animated, it's because I am when it comes to subjects like this. But that's not the only situation mentioned in this Free Press story. It also mentions 13-year-old charged in a series of bear spray attacks in the West End and downtown February 19. You remember that one? Kid running around. I think that was a Sunday morning. One of the victims was a 24-year-old woman who attends the University of Winnipeg and lives in a student residence. So now it's coast to coast downtown. From the U of W to CDI College, from Sargent Avenue up to Assiniboine Avenue. The mayor's putting together a committee, and soon the work will start. Not good enough. Maybe pull the 2 cops out of the library. Maybe pull the 2 cops out of the library and have them start to do their own little foot patrol up and down Graham. Unbelievable. Kids come from India to learn business, get their teeth knocked out, brass knuckles, people are petrified to take the bus, machetes everywhere. Oh, we're going to study it. We're starting a committee. Not good enough, Mayor Gillingham. Sorry to tell you. That 13-year-old, 3 counts of assault with a weapon, assault robbery, carrying a concealed weapon or prohibited device, 4 counts of possessing a weapon. So pretty sophisticated for a 13-year-old. This is 7:30 in the morning. It started until 1 p.m. 4 people assaulted with bear spray, 2 others chased with weapons. The police said that at the time described the assailants, the suspects, as males around the age of 20. 13-year-old looks 20. Well, maybe he had his face covered. This 13-year-old has since been released from custody. The mayor, the lawyers on council, of which there are a couple of you, I hate to say it, but you've got to say something about this. You're not going to make downtown safe as long as the assailants and a prohibition order, God, do not come anywhere within 300 yards of downtown. That ain't going to work. For one thing, because everybody can wear a mask nowadays under the guise of public health. So we will continue to keep an eye on, obviously, on the crime blotter. One other thing, the fire on Main Street to go to 2-story building on this side of, is it 888 Main Street, the high rise at Jarvis? Someone who lived a block away, less than a block away from that fire last Saturday, said there's definitely squatters in the building that burned down that he had observed using drugs. So Main Street's burning down. You can't take a bus. You can't go to business classes downtown without risking your life. Welcome to Winnipeg. Again, I repeat, Brian Bowman's legacy.
The Great Canadian Talk Show.
You'll see in the episode description, your support is integral to me being able to get out in the community, being able to dig up stories, report on facts, make sure the public is informed, and not only in terms of hard news stories, but sometimes there's stories that are hard news, but we have to look in behind the way stories are written by the media and in behind the statements of elected officials and authorized representatives. The more resources that we have over here, the more we can do the kind of work that is not being done on Winnipeg radio, certainly not being done in the realm of Winnipeg TV. What a wasteland when it comes to TV news and current affairs in this market. There's no podcasts that do what we do in this region. And so, again, asking for your support to make sure the bills are paid, the lights stay on, there's gas in the car, get some refills for our pen and pencil sets, and march on through the spring, through the summer, and into the expected fall provincial election.